What's up guys, Richie's Diesel here. What we're going to do today, fuel filters on 19 to 24 Ram. So for starters, you're going to need two filters. This is the element that goes up front. This is the element that goes over the rear. Looks similar to the front one, but not the same. Here are the part numbers. The top one is 19 through 24, the chassis mount the rear. 13 through 24 for the engine mounted at the front. Obviously it is the same from 13 all the way up to 24, possibly 25, but I haven't seen that myself. You're gonna need a good sized ratchet. You're gonna need a 19 millimeter, or for those that are a little bit difficult converting over to SAE sizes, it'll be 1/8". Let's take a look. So here we are at the rear. There is your chassis mounted filter. This is the water separator. This little drain valve is here. As you'll see a little bit later on, similar to the front, Dodge engineers, Ram engineers like to make the drain right on top of the dry shaft and drips all over the place. Not a pleasant situation, but you're gonna let this drain out for a little bit and then we'll open it up. Okay, so once you're done draining it, then you can take the bottom of it off. It's right there. Then we can go back and you can take your elements out. It's a little bit tight getting to. And there's your elements. So for the rear, we're going to use this part number. When you open your package up, you're going to have your element, and you're going to find an O-ring in there as well. This O-ring goes on the cover. That is your new gasket. This little O-ring right there. That you're going to discard the old one, and then you're going to put the new one back on. And then reverse procedure, put the unit back up. The reason I like to start with the rear one, this is just my thoughts, is that any of the debris that gets dislodged from changing this filter at the rear will push its way to the front, rather than changing the front one first and then changing the rear and having anything go up to the front. But that's just my method. Another little tip is I like to put a little bit of grease right around the surface of where the O-ring sits. That way when you put this cover back up again, it lubricates it for the next time that it gets removed. Now back here, we're simply going to reverse the procedure. Put this up, thread the housing back up. Easier said than done with wet gloves. Alright, so once the cover is back up, obviously you want to wipe down your dry shaft, wipe down the shield on the fuel tank. All of this got wet from the fuel splashing off, and then we can go prime it. So priming is quite simple. You just get in the vehicle, press the key 2 times, and you'll hear the pump come on. That's the sound of the pump filling the filter housing up. I like to do this twice because obviously the filter housing is of a good size. This is round 2. So the pump runs for about 20 seconds or so. After the second cycle, then you can key it on and then start it. So it should stay running. If it doesn't, by some chance, if it stalls, then just shut it off, cycle the key back on again, let the pump run for another cycle, and everything should be good. Once you're content with the vehicle running for at least a minute or so, then we can move on to the front filter. So unlike the back one, this one's a little bit more difficult to get to. It is the same size socket, the 29 millimeter or 1 1/8 for the SAE guys. And you're just going to turn this little drain right here to drain the housing. But the rear was a poor design, wait to see the front. So the rear drain onto the dry shaft, the front one drains onto the front differential housing. So if you're going to change the oil on your vehicle, you probably want to do that first, or get yourself a really big pan like this one, so that when it drains off of the housing and all over the place, it'll catch what comes down, because it is pretty messy. The good thing about the front one is at least you're working over the fuel filter housing, so it's not going to drain onto you while you're trying to take it down. Once you get your cap off of here, you'll see the element inside. It's a little bit difficult to get out. You can use the butt end of your ratchet if it's of a proper size. You can pop it up that way, and then your element should just pop up. A little bit's going to drain, and there it is. So just like the rear one, the front one also comes with this O-ring, except this one stays on the housing, not on the lid. So, like the rear one, this one comes in another O-ring, and then the packaging here. Here is our new filter. Just reverse procedure. So we're going to start by putting our O-ring back on with a little bit of grease. Once your filter's back in, then you can put the cover back on. That's just a little bit of grease on top there. You just want to tighten it down until it's snug. Remember, it is only plastic. You can put it back on with a shorty ratchet. Make sure that you close your water drain valve and then prime it. So we're going to do the same procedure as the rear. Press the button twice. Let the pump run to prime. Do this cycle for approximately 2 times so it fills the front housing. This is the second priming cycle. After the second priming cycle is complete, start the vehicle. It should stay running. If for some reason that it does stall, don't worry, just cycle the key again. Let the pump run through its complete cycle. Everything should be fine. It will start back up again, and everything should be good to go. What you don't want to do is, I've seen people make the mistake of changing both filters at the same time, and you're going to be in for a world of hurt when you try to prime them, because it takes quite some time to do that. The downside to that is once the vehicle does start, or during the course of trying to get it to start, you're running those injectors dry, and that's a very bad situation for the pintles and the pistons and intensifiers inside of that the injectors, and the CP3 running it with so little fuel. They are colliding internally, and it's not good for the long-term life of those injector components and the pump. So that's it. Looks like this truck is good to go. You want to reset your life cycle monitor if the truck has it, depending upon the year and the package. But other than that, that's it. Hope to help you guys.